Hello everyone, we are back. So, Madam V and Viper have gone around to the back of the courier office to find the loading bay where there are lots of workers. Unlike working at the counter, you can see that there are giants and root walkers working back here alongside their human, elf, and saurian counterparts, as there's a lot more room to stand for them outside. It's a brisk, cold winter day out here, although there's no snow falling today, and the wind isn't too bad. It's nice. It's fairly nice and sunny, as if you like cold winter days. It's a nice day. And I think there's a couple of people who are standing around on break, maybe smoking from pipes. And there's obviously people loading and unloading wagons and carts, as prepared to head off into all the various districts of the city and off to some of the not so far flung, but the estates and villages that lie outside of the city on the island. Those that provide the food to the city and the rest of the island, and the mining towns that provide its coal. So, what do the two of you do?
Well, because Fantasy Craft is Fantasy Craft, there are specific rules for canvassing a crowd to ask them questions. I would like to investigate one or two specific things. One, at the top of my head, would be trying to get a better handle on who this person was that had this crate shipped. Or two, if any of the workers remember bringing this crate into the city to begin with, if it originated outside.
Okay.
Which it may not have, but...
All right.
And there is a chart for canvassing on page 76 of the rules.
Mm-hmm.
And depending on the classification of this city/area, it's going to modify the roll.
Yes, it's going to change your bonus to the roll, and also how long it's going to take you.
Mm-hmm.
So this is not just like asking the people here. This is potentially like waiting for shifts to cycle.
Yeah, it's potentially an all-day affair.
Yeah. So the city itself, it definitely qualifies as sprawling. There are definitely more than 25,000 people in Enclave. So hey, you get that plus 20 modifier. Someone's certain to have heard something. Although I wonder, since you're not canvassing the entire city, if I should be using a smaller number or smaller population.
Yeah, that's the thing I was curious about, because I don't know, the rules don't really specify, but...
Oh, okay, okay. It says that it's based on population density, which is...
Okay.
Interesting. Because, I mean, that's still not... Okay, you know what? I'm going to say that this is sparse, because, you know, you're working through the employees here. So there's probably between 51 to 200, like, employees who work here, right? Especially if you're asking through all the shifts.
That makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah, so that gives you a -5 penalty, and it's going to take you 2d6 hours.
Okie dokie.
I'll roll the 2d6. It's going to take you 8 hours, so I guess you are, like, going through all the shifts as you stand here. Or at least, like, the back end of the morning shift, the afternoon shift and then the start of the evening shift.
Can I,
Well,
can I keep an eye out for similarly shaped packages moving, like, to and fro?
Absolutely. Give me that'll be a search check for sure.
all right. I'll go ahead and do the investigate roll
Sure thing.
for questioning. That's 21 total minus 5 would be 16.
16. So fruitful is the result. Okay. So what kind of questions were you asking about?
I had two main concerns, one being ways to identify the person that had the crate delivered and possible previous origin of the crate, if there was one.
Okay. So what you learn is that the person who was sending the crate, the servant of Salassar, Ronus Makar, brought the crate himself in a wagon drawn by a pony. The wagon itself was unremarkable. It probably actually seemed maybe a little too plain, maybe a little too run down for someone who is trying to keep up.
It wasn't a noble wagon.
Yeah, like it was just like there's a bit more wear and tear, you know.
Right.
And I think you get the same impression about Ronus Makar himself, that he was wearing nice clothes, but they also seemed not quite as nice as they perhaps should have been.
Mhm.
What else? And I think that after like a couple hours of asking, someone's like, so you eventually get pointed to the person who actually received the package, like, or helped move the package, because obviously Dorothy already spoke to the elf who like did the paperwork.
Mm-hmm.
And so you speak to the person who moved it, who's a fellow root walker, and they tell you that this guy, like, you don't want any part of him. Like, he's bad news, because the mover noticed that, like, just by chance, that he has a tattoo behind his left ear of a stylized open palm hand. And that means that he's a member of the Hidden Hand.
That checks out, yeah.
I don't want to tell criminals how to crime, but if you're part of a secret society, maybe don't get a tattoo on your face.
I mean, it's hidden behind the ear.
He was trying out that new side shave style and forgot. Yeah.
Yep. So yeah, I don't.
Add this to my list of things to investigate. The hidden hand.
Do you have any other questions?
Other than V bringing up similar packages, the player, can't think of anything else to ask.
Okay.
Yeah.
So V, why don't you give me that search roll to see if you can spot any similar packages moving through this place?
Sure. No.
Oh
The
no!
answer is no.
That's a natural one. Yeah, there's absolutely a package that matches the description. That it's very similar. You can see that there's like a giant. It's brought up on like a wagon pulled by a donkey, and the person there's a Kadam. She's got like black fur all over her body, and you can see that there's like a fine like sprinkling of a white dust throughout her fur, especially around her hands. And she is driving this package here with her donkey, and one of the giants who works here like goes to move it and remarks on how heavy it is, and she's saying, "Be very careful, please. I please be careful with that crate." All right. And what do you do, V?
Gonna elbow Viper and sort of like toss my head towards it to indicate that maybe we should be paying attention to that, but also like equal chances that's just like a really delicate sculpture.
Sounds
Don't
like
like
a criminal to me.
God, you're just really leaning in full with that cop thing, huh? Really embracing the life.
My cop sona.
I don't have a good feeling about this one.
What do the two of you do?
Ma'am, we're going to need to ask you a few questions.
Who are you?
Where's my paper? Hold on. Produce.
I think you'll find that
Performing an investigation on behalf of the Coast Guard.
Oh. All right. What are your questions?
It's the list of questions they ask you at the actual post office. Is your package dangerous? Does it contain any liquids or poisonous chemicals? Might your package explode at any point? Etc. etc.
She's just like, no liquids. It's not going to explode. There's nothing alive in there.
It's not narrowing it down.
Is there anything unalive?
There's zombies.
Yes, there's something unalive in there.
What is in the box? What just specifically? What are you shipping?
She like looks from side to side. I'm not allowed to say. She like turns and like looks at the movers and is like, I was told there would be no questions asked when I made this delivery, and they're like the movers are just like, whoa, we're not getting involved in Coast Guard business. Are you kidding? They're like, I'm just the muscle.
Oh boy. How did we get here?
Who told you there would be no questions asked?
That is the policy of Sun's Rays couriers. Is no questions asked except for your name when you're delivering it and how will you be paying, and obviously the address. But I mean,
Great. What address is this going to?
You don't work for the Sun's Rays Couriers.
No, but we do work for the guard.
I think you're gonna need to make a roll here. I don't know whether you're trying to intimidate or impress.
It's gonna be an intimidate. Because I have ranks in that.
And also your special ability,
And also my special ability. I got a 15.
which counts as a 21 if a 15 is not sufficient because of your born in the saddle.
Great, yes.
So yeah, she's like, okay, what was the question again? You two are like looming over her as she's
We're really haranguing this woman who
Like-
is definitely innocent.
yeah, she is sitting in the front of her cart and like you're still looming over her.
You just got kicked out of the post office for intimidating people, and so you went outside to intimidate people.
It wasn't the plan initially, but things happen.
What
Have a
I
certain
would
set of skills.
When you are the hammer, everyone looks like a nail.
I'm not mechanically incentivized to be nice here. So my question really is what is in the box. The question that I asked was where is it going? So do with that with what you will.
It's it's going to the Rose's Blush. That
I know where that is.
How familiar is V with high-end brothels?
I don't have to answer that question.
Where's your cop papers, Austin?
Okay. All right. But like, what's in it? Is it you don't have to get into the specifics, but like broad strokes. Is it a sculpture? Is it
It's
food? Is it supplies?
it's a specialty sculpture.
That's what I figured it would be. I told you. I turned to Viper. I told you that's what it was.
Can a tree blush? Viper definitely can. And is doing so.
Get greener around the cheeks.
Is that it? Are we good, or do you have any more questions?
Do we have any more? And aside, do we have any more questions? Are we satisfied with that?
I think we're probably good.
Well, if we're wrong, then some people are going to die later, so that's fine.
That is a good point. But also, I don't suppose this loading dock has a private room.
No.
Well,
I mean, you
I
could.
don't want to. I don't want to open this crate and, with people around, regardless.
You could take it.
true.
You could take it inside, but I mean, there's no like private inspection area for the goods. It is specifically in their mandate that they don't want
They
to
don't
know.
expect anything. Yeah.
Right, yeah. Well, I'm gonna make a character choice, and V, who has up to this point been deeply gullible, is satisfied with this answer. And I think almost apologizes and then catches herself, remembering that she is in fact a cop, and
At least for this week.
at least for this week.
Look, when you're an actor, you gotta pick up small jobs. It's not sustainable.
And says, "All right, well, carry on. Stay safe out there. Don't fuck it up." And then leaves.
Don't fuck it up. What? What a farewell.
And Viper, being not much of an actor at all, is visibly flustered and does apologize. And sort of walks away backwards. Sorry.
Does Viper know what the rose's blush is?
Oh, she knows what it is, yeah.
Okay.
Probably never had enough money to go there.
Okay. So, you've gotten some information about this Aronis Makar. And you've gotten some information about the delivery. What do you all do now? I guess you meet back up out front of the main entrance of the courier building?
Well, if it's going to take 8 hours to canvass, I'm going to check in with them, see that, they're doing their talking thing, and I'm just going to go to a temple of Zesu, the major god of secrets, darkness, and deceit, and just get the fortune-telling service. See if they can have an oracle free, just to give us a free hint. Well, three silver hint.
Do not believe how much my cohort sucks at being cops. We need some help.
No. Just trying to explore all the options.
Okay. So what does the temple look like?
Well, since this is the god is usually associated with the moon, it's an open air temple, and it's also darkness, so no torches. I think it's a small temple, because Seisu, while being a major god, isn't actually there's not a whole lot of worshippers of them in the city. So it's made of marble with some pillars that were originally supporting a roof, but they took the roof down. And there is an alcove that they do have that is covered in order to gather the oracle vapors for those wishing for the services of the oracle. I'm assuming that this is akin to the oracles of
Delphi?
Delphi, yeah, the oracles of Delphi, where I can't remember what the fumes were, but I think that it was like natural gases, where they get high and then start gibbering at you, and then you learn some things, or you interpret what you want to learn from it, or it's the voice of God, who knows.
Okay. So, the seer, who is I think a middle-aged person, and a human, and they have like a heavy, like a veil, but not meant to be seen through.
Mm-hmm.
And they have it pulled back when you come and ask for their services, and then they go over to a brazier full of coals, or charcoal, and they sprinkle some proprietary mix of herbs and other... Yes, they sprinkle on the secret 13 herbs and spices upon this charcoal, and put the front part of their hood, their overly deep hood, over it as they breathe in the smoke coming off of it.
I would like to note that it's probably 18 different herbs, because 18 is a sacred number to Zezu.
All right. And so they breathe. You can hear them taking a series of deep, slow breaths. And you can catch... Does Dorothy have a sense of smell?
No.
Okay. Then you cannot catch any sort of sense about what this might be. And then after about a minute, they say, I see 2 places. They contract and overlap. Your path before you is at both. One of them has a glimmer, a crackle of light in its depths. The other is a place both of warmth and also coldness. I see learning in one, and I see a giving up, a hopelessness, a sharing at the other. The one is filled with books, the other with shoes. You'll find that one is a place of thought and paper, and the other is a place of leather and coin. I don't... That is what I see.
Probably could have gotten a more clear fortune if I used an Ouija board. He does not say that. She's respectful in temples. Okay.
Ouija board also costs more than 3 silver. So.
True.
Also, I believe it was 2 silver.
Yes.
Oh, well. Yeah. I told you I always leave a tip when I...
Tip your fortune tellers. They're here all week. All right. So, Dorothy, what do you do after that mystical experience?
Nothing exciting, I think. I would like to set up some experiments about the contagion of the spark, but I think that is downtime activity. And also something that I need to gloss over because it involves animal experimentations, unfortunately, and that's my own veil I put in there, but I guess I just like to torture myself.
Okay. Well, what do the 3 of you do? You've got some information.
Sounds like we need to go look for the hidden hand at the shoe library.
There's the shoe museum in Toronto. You want to go there? What do we know about the hidden hand? What's the common knowledge about it?
Do any of you have studies that would relate to it? To organized crime, or the underworld, or shady dealings?
I've got Homeland, Saurian, Opera, and Botany, so no.
Yeah, that'd be a no.
That'd be a no.
I have the study of the Enclave, but I don't think it is the sort of like underground crime. I think it has more to do with just living in the city.
Mm-hmm. Viper, do you have anything?
No, if it's not about punching people or talking to whales, Viper's kind of in the wind.
Okay, then. So, here is what the three of you putting your heads together know about the Hidden Hand. They are the premier crime organization in Enclave. It's said that they can smuggle stuff into and out of the city, even past the Coast Guard's blockades. But that could very well just be hyperbole. Certainly the Coast Guard would deny it. They are led by someone known as the Thumb.
Of course.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
But at least that's what it said on the streets. None of you are exactly experts on them, so that could be complete horseshit.
We should go to bars and just look seedy.
Can Madam V manage to look seedy?
I look the wrong kind of CD.
Okay. All right. What do y'all do?
I can look tough.
I mean,
You can look two-faced.
I do. I have a good disguise. I have a decent intimidate. I could look seedy. Just gotta let me prepare. Let me get in character, as it were.
Oh my god.
so what do y'all plan on doing?
Oh, this is a fine question. Did we ever find out who the person whose name I'm forgetting that whose name we got from Salassar's books was?
Hennet Olin.
Hennet Olin. Did we ever find out who that was?
All you got at the time was that they are a moneylender.
Right.
You can, investigate more on them.
Well, I would like to, if that's all right with the rest of the group.
Absolutely. So it sounds like you're canvassing again.
Hooray! I love to canvas.
So it's probably about 6 or 7 p.m. after the two of you finish hanging out at the post office.
Yeah. Cool face.
Just the two of you, Jay and Silent, bobbing outside of the post office.
Every time a worker walks in, we're like, hey.
So,
Is there a specific thing that I'm rolling?
yeah,
So?
it's investigate.
Okay.
Is there a particular, crowd that you want to ask about Hennet Olin, or... Because, you can ask around the whole city, and that'll,
Well, I'm gonna ask around, maybe other moneylenders or gamblers, because that feels like their sphere.
Yeah. Okay.
Is there any place in the city we know of where they have fights for entertainment?
Ooh.
I guess that probably falls under your fighting study, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
I am a martial artist, so I guess I should leverage that maybe.
I would say that, yeah, Viper, you probably do know where they would have fighting pits. But first, V is asking around town. So I think that this is probably sparse population, asking at the moneylenders and gamblers. No, including gamblers, that probably bumps it up to average. There's probably at least 1,000 gamblers in the city, I would think. So this will give you a +0 modifier to your what do you call it? Investigate check. Do you have investigate?
I have a -1 in it.
So no ranks.
No ranks and a -1. Yep. Would you
What
like to do that?
what if we're canvassing the gamblers at the fighting pit?
Yeah. Okay.
And then maybe Viper can take the lead on that.
Sounds good.
Yeah, I think that'll again be average. But because you have a study related to that, Viper, we'll give a +1 to the result.
Okay.
So this will be average, yeah. So it'll take you 1d6 hours of asking around. And Viper, are you taking the lead on this?
I think so, yeah.
And V, you're helping?
I would like to assist if I can.
All right, well, V, you give me an investigate roll, and if you get sufficient, Viper will get +1.
Cool. I didn't. It's a 4.
Okay. What does that look like, V?
I think it looks like well, we're at like the fighting pits, right? So Madame V is pointing out a bunch of stuff. I don't think Madame V's ever been to a fighting pit before, or at least she's been to jousting, right? She's participated in
But
that.
this is very different.
Totally different, completely different vibe, and so she's just pointing out a bunch of stuff that she finds new and interesting and suspicious. That like Viper's like, no, yeah, that's just how they do it. No, that's really standard, actually.
Those men are punching each other. Do we stop them?
Where are their horses?
So yeah, I rolled how long this is going to take you. It's only going to take you an hour to ask around, so I think it's probably the first place you visit is where you're going to find the answers that you seek, which is it's like basically a pub called the Punch Bowl, and it's like sort of tiered, going down. It's got like a bunch of tiers with tables at each level, going down to where the center, there's just like this space dug out into it that have just like two guys inside of it. The space itself is fairly small. It's only about like 30 feet in diameter, this circle that they're fighting in.
Makes the fights better when they can't run away.
Yeah. And so it's just like these two guys just beating the crap out of each other with their bare hands.
Now, is there supposed to be a ref in there? Like, is that legal?
Not for his own safety. He shouldn't be in there. No.
And so there's like a railing around the edge of this where some of the more enthusiastic viewers are crowded and they're like holding wager slips. And
Are we thinking about the Sherlock Holmes movie where he's in that fight?
oh yeah, it's definitely has that like energy directly around the pit, but like that all the people are raised up, not at the same level as the fighters. They're probably about 10 feet above the floor of the fighting pit. And it's designed in such a way that the people on each of the tiers can get a reasonably good view of the fight. You have to go down a couple of steps or one step for the two of you to get to the next tier.
Okay, well, let's see how well Viper can ply her trade here.
Yeah.
It's a 14
Ooh.
plus 1.
Do you want to spend any action dice?
You know what? Might as well.
Yeah. Add that D4.
Oh, there's not a button to roll it. Okay.
Huh. That's surprising. 2.
So put it at 17.
There we go. So that gets you up to fruitful information, which is good.
Yeah, that's a lot better than dubious.
Yeah. So you were asking about Hennet Allen? Correct?
Yeah.
Yeah. So asking around and talking to a couple different people, you like talk to some gamblers who are like, "Oh yeah, I owe Hennet some money." That's I mean, he's nice enough guy. He hasn't sent anyone after me yet. And I hear he's like not. I hear that he's the kind of loan shark who wants to get paid. Is much happier getting paid than killing the people who owe him money. And someone else is like, "Oh yeah, but I heard that if you stiff him for long enough, he'll send his kid Liar after you, and they're not afraid to use their claws on people, from what I've heard." And another person's like, "Yeah, I know," and like pulls back their like sleeve, and they've got like a very obvious like claw mark up the length of the back of their forearm. Like it's scarred at this point, and said, "I borrowed money from him once before, and I let me tell you, after that I learned to pay my debts. That's why I'm here now, wagering on this fight. I'm gonna pay back those debts that I have. That's just as soon as I
good
win."
Plan. Solid. Yeah.
Yeah, the first person's like, "Oh yeah, you can if you're looking to get a loan, you can find the Allens. They do all of their business out of their cobbler shop over in the over in the market."
Do you mean the shoe library?
Shoe library? You must have drank a whole keg. Yeah, I mean, it shouldn't be hard to find. It's
What's the name of the shop?
It's just Allen Shoe Repairs.
Oh, okay. Simple but effective.
I mean, it's been in his family for a couple generations, from what I hear. It's apparently one of the older cobbler shops in town.
Money lending's a side gig, I guess.
I mean, I don't know. Last time I was there, my shoes got shined while I was getting a loan, so 50-50.
Huh.
Do you have any other questions about Hennet Allen that you want to ask? Anything specific?
Do you know if Hennet deals with very high loans? Like not fighting loans, like big.
I've heard that he that he'll lend to anyone. So, but I'd be surprised if anyone needed, a lot of money from him.
Okay, so that would be unusual if someone checked out a very, very large loan from Holland.
I mean, I don't have access to his books. If I did, I'd cross my name out.
But you know his reputation.
Yeah. I mean, I think usually people go to, one of the landlords for big loans. Sounds like you're asking after. But, I mean, the Ullins are, ambitious, from what I can tell. I wouldn't be surprised if they, lent out a large chunk of change.
We did learn from Salassar's books that Ullin was not one of his major primary lenders, but was someone that had purchased a lot of his debt from others. So
That's true.
perhaps in a move to get further up the social ladder there. Possibly. Considering apparently they are cobblers, which not aristocracy.
Any
Interesting.
other questions about Hennet?
Not that I can think of.
Yeah, that was informative.
Dorothy, are you here as well? No? What are you... Oh, before we find out what Dorothy's up to, are either of you betting?
Hold on.
Is that a roll?
I have 6 silver.
I mean, that's
I'll-
6 days' wages.
Yeah. Tell you what, I'll go 3 silver on a fight while we're here.
I'll go three silver on the opposite side of that fight.
Is this a friendly, just like, bet between the two of you, or are you, like, going through the bookie? Are you going through the bookie or just between each other?
I'm gonna go through the bookie. We might have
Yeah, why not?
one of us might have better odds. I don't know.
Exactly.
Okay. One of the fighters has odds of 1 to 2. The other has 2 to 3. So you're looking at either doubling your money or getting a 50% increase on your money.
I'll take the long shot. I'll take the 1 to 2.
All right, I'll take
That guy
the
looks
other one.
He looks promising.
Okay. So each of you roll a let's see. Hadrian, you're taking the long shot. So you roll a d20. Sasha, you're taking the safer bet. So you roll a d20 plus 4.
Can Hadrian get a bonus though? Because he knows
Got
fighting.
got the fighter's eye.
Oh, yeah, okay, yeah, sure. Take that plus 1.
Heck yeah. Okay. Damn.
Damn.
Viper knows what she's talking about.
Apparently. So, yeah, the crowd cheers as there's one last meaty thunk as the fist of the fighter that that Viper bet on rings true, and the other one goes down with a grunt and a sigh. So, Hadrian, what was the name of the fighter you bet on?
Oh god. Oh, I was not prepared. 1 second. I'm sure I've got something here.
And Sasha, you're gonna get asked the same question. So,
Torpid Tenson was their name.
Torpid Tenson. Okay, and what
Ironically, since she didn't bet on him, his name was Lance. Lance Quintana.
Maybe V didn't like him stealing her style. That's the thing she invented.
what's Lance's pronouns?
I've already said he, him, so we're sticking
Okay.
with it.
All right. And what species is either of them?
Which was the cat one again?
Kadum?
Kadum. Yeah.
Okay, so
Big furry. That's what that is.
Okay. Big. All right. And Lance?
Lance's species is surfer bro.
I'm going to put human.
Okay, that's close.
That's stereotyping.
I mean, it's technically a subspecies.
Okay, I did put surfer bro in my notes. All right. Who knows if these two will ever be relevant again, but hey,
I really hope so. Yeah.
I mean, you can make it happen. If you just like, hey, I want to go bug Lance some more. I'm gonna become Lance's personal trainer. I'm gonna take the sidekick feat and get Lance as my squire. Okay, so while the two,
I almost said, wait, that's a thing, and then remembered which game we're playing. So.
Uh-huh.
yep.
Not just for rats anymore.
Okay. So, what is Dorothy up to while the other two are betting on fights?
I'm going to CD bars and I'm making it known that I need some materials for my magical experiments that are frowned upon by, blockades and such. Whom would I contact for said supplies? Just letting it float out.
Okay, sounds like you two are canvassing. It sounds like you're casting a wider net, though. I think this is probably dense.
Okay.
So this will take you 1d4 hours, and you'll get a +5 bonus.
Okay. And also get the bonus that I probably do need some supplies that are frowned upon by the Coast Guard. So it's a win-win. So I have 18.
Okay, and this will take
Oh, +5.
appearance.
No, the modifier.
Ah, yes. Okay, so that is fruitful information. You need actually to get a 31 to get better than fruitful. So yeah. Let's see. You're looking for stuff from beyond the blockades. Goodness
Who would
gracious.
I speak to? I don't know. Hypothetically.
Yeah.
I need some kind of hand delivery.
Smooth.
Thanks. I'm a doll. What do you want from me? And he has so many words programmed into my voice box.
Okay.
That raises more questions.
Ms. Dorothy speaking spell. Oh, and you're a mage. Oh.
Okay. So yeah, you definitely hear that you want to talk to someone from the Hidden Hand.
No. I don't know who. Yeah. Who would I speak to? And it's very important stuff. Very hard to get, so I'd have to speak to someone important.
Yeah. Let's see. You get pointed to an elf with like a bluish green skin and a stocky build, and their name is Page End. And you hear that Paige is sort of like the go-to person if you're looking for things smuggled into the city, whether it's tariff-free booze from outside of the city or something a little spicier. And you can find where do they hang out? Yeah, you know what? Let's bring this together. You can find them at the Punch Bowl.
Nice.
In the they tend to be in the upper tiers. So you go there, and you can see Viper and V crowded around the railing, yelling at a fight going on, waving around their wager tickets. Unless the two of you feel that is unfair characterization.
No, I think Veal gets swept up in it. That's fine.
Like a day at the race.
Viper's probably not that over enthusiastic because she was so confident that her bet was the correct one.
Fair. And so Dorothy, you can. I think the bouncer initially stops you, thinking that you're a child, and then realizes you aren't, and is like, go right ahead.
I don't like being screamed at every time someone sees me. But I should have thought of that before what I did.
You purposely described your character as somewhat horrifying.
Oh no, I don't mean me as a player. I enjoy it.
Okay.
I
Fair.
feel like it wears on Dorothy somewhat, unless she plays it up with her masks.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so you can see Paige End sitting at a private table up near the top of the punch bowl. Like the upper tiers are raised above ground level, and the lower tiers are below ground level, and so Paige's table is high enough that a tall person, like a tall human, would have to duck for the rafters that are the beams that are directly above them. So actually, for V and Viper, standing near the hole is probably the very most comfortable place to stand.
Yeah.
So what do you do, Dorothy?
I'm gonna walk up to them bold as brass and use my charming. Not she doesn't give finger guns, but I do. Use my charming to raise disposition by 5. Yeah, Foxglove totally shoots the finger guns. Wait, but before I approach them bold as brass, I use my grooming kit, and then I approach them bold as brass.
Okay.
I guess I pull up a seat and stand on it so that I'm sort of eye level with them.
What do you want?
Hi, I hear that you're the person to talk to if someone needs some special ingredients.
Yes, that would be me.
What if these ingredients are very special? It's for a very dense cake.
That depends upon how special they are.
Very special.
I think that I'm going to need some proof of your seriousness. And proof that you aren't going to tie me up with law enforcement. I don't know who you are.
I would like to first make, I guess, an impress roll just to see how, the general mood of him, or, sorry, him or them?
They.
Of them going forward. Is that okay?
Yeah, you've made a little bit of small talk.
So that's 8 plus 5 appearance modifier, and I'm gonna spend an action die. Sorry. I always forget how to just roll random dice.
/roll space 1d4.
One. So that's a 9 plus the difference between our appearance bonuses, which is 5 for me.
Okay, so you got a 14 at most. Yeah, they don't seem especially swayed thus far beyond your initial charm offensive.
Okay. Then I'm going to slide them 50 silver and say, this cake is very important to me.
Let's see, where's...
And so I need the advice of only your top tier chefs. Riding.
Yeah. Target's income for a week or equal... Is... So, there are rules for bribes, of course.
Mm-hmm.
Specific rules for them. And it's based upon the target's income for a week. I think that 50 silver is probably a moderate incentive, which means...
Wait, really? You said that, like, typical for, like, a day is 1 silver. Does crime pay?
I'm beginning to have my suspicions.
Yeah, you know what? We'll say it's extreme.
Yeah.
Okay, so you'll get a +4 modifier. Okay. They, like, reach out and take the coin and, like, slide it across the table towards them and put it into their coin pouch and say, all right, you've bought a private meeting. And they, like, snap their finger over, like, up where it can be easily seen, and the bartender, like, shouts at someone, and then a band kicks up. And like a really rowdy number, and like now basically you can't really hear beyond like the person next to you. Between that, the music being played and the shouts of the crowd watching the fights. So, what are you looking for?
I'd rather not reveal that to someone as low tier as you.
Get wrecked, scrub.
I see. Well, who do you want to speak to then?
During my canvassing, did I like find out any more information about the leader of the Hidden Hand? Is it the thumb?
Oh, you mean the thumb?
is it really the thumb?
There's definitely whispers that the thumb is a figurehead within the Hidden Hand, and that it might be one of the other 4 fingers.
Mm-hmm.
But no one knows which of them it might be.
Dorothy says, any of the fingers will do, even the pinky.
Very well. I'll put you in contact with one of them, with my superior. I recommend that you do not make such crass remarks to them, otherwise you might be the one losing your pinky.
Well, I tend to respect those earning it.
Very well. Hello. I'm the finger in charge of smuggling. How can I help you?
Oh, look,
I got
manager
rats.
when they ask for it.
I got it. Okay, I'm actually looking for information, sir. Or, damn it, why isn't there a proper honorific for gender neutral terms? That's it.
You can make one up.
I can't off the top of my head.
I'm a fan of Captain, but that's not always applicable.
Boss?
Oh yeah.
Boss will do.
I'm actually looking for information, boss.
Well, you've already gotten some.
That's true. I am looking for specific information.
I see. Well, to be frank, I am not the finger in charge of information.
Yes. I'm looking for information about an object that was smuggled.
All right. What is it?
I'm looking for information of who ordered the smuggling of a sparked.
And an eyebrow raises at that. And they say, such information would be expensive. Are you prepared to pay?
What sort of coin are we talking about?
Well, I think that information would probably be worth, I think another 50 silver.
Oh, I wasn't expecting actual coin.
Payment in kind would also be reasonable.
I possess a great deal of magical talents, and I'm willing to offer my services for one night.
I think we're gonna make a haggle roll here.
No! Heidi, this is a personal attack. Okay. Poop.
Okay. Well, you can be safe that this person is not, in fact, a merchant. So they do not have plus 11.
I got 15. Yes!
You win.
Yes! This is the greatest feeling. I never won a haggle roll in my life.
And you win by 6. So
No, by 5. By 5.
By 5. Ah, yes. Okay.
Don't have it.
So seller wins. I guess. Are you the buyer? I guess you're the buyer. Yeah. So 80% asking price. So I think through the discussion, like there's back and forth between the two of you. And eventually you settle on, like, through arguing that you have very specific skills, able to reach on that you will provide 18 hours of work for them.
Okay.
And that is, to be clear, like, not necessarily going to be all at once.
Yeah.
When I come calling for your assistance, do not refuse. Understand?
I do have limits. I would like to draw out a contract.
I am not putting this in writing.
I meant a verbal contract, boss.
Very well.
I will need a blood oath, however.
They look at you and they say, "And what blood will you be providing?"
I will be swearing on something significant to me.
I see. And what exactly would that be?
A piece of my soul.
How dramatic. You
I don't have
mages...
much of wealth.
You mages are always so theatrical. Very well. And so they take out a knife and prick their thumb.
You don't even know what we're signing to yet, dude. Let's get the blood started.
And they hold out their bleeding thumb to you.
Okay. My limits are
No. While we touch, I do not want my blood and your promise of a soul to be wasted on this contract if they are not being said while in contact.
Put my finger against the blood, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
And I say, my limits are, I do not harm children. And I don't want any deaths on my hands.
How direct?
Yes, I find it's useful when swearing oaths.
No, I mean, how direct are the deaths?
Oh. I mean, ideally, no deaths at all. But things happen.
I see. So you're all right with accidents so long as you're not the one to arrange the accident.
Well, no. That's like asking what who's the murderer, the bow or the archer. I would say that they are both culpable.
Well then,
Besides, my skills are wasted for that.
I suppose that will do. I can find use of one of your stature, at the least. So, what do you need?
I need the name and whatever information you have of the person who asked you to smuggle in one of the sparked.
I have not smuggled in any sparked into the city.
You as a broad, you as part of the organization.
The Sparked are as dangerous to us as to anyone else. I would not smuggle one into the city. If one of my compatriots has smuggled something in without my knowledge, I would pay you for that information, or cut away from your debt.
Very well. Well, let's hope that that's everything you know.
I have heard rumors, however. I am not the finger in charge of information, as I mentioned, but I have heard rumors that the university has a Sparked. I don't know where. I don't want to know where. I do not care for the Sparked. But I do not see a reason to stiff you on our deal.
Thank you. And I swear upon the life of... Why am I blanking on my rat's name? Fuck.
Foxglove.
I swear upon the life of Foxglove that I will complete 18 hours of service to clear my debt.
They nod and remove their finger and take their blood-pricked thumb back and says, "Is there anything else, Dorothy?"
Yes. Please keep me in mind for any future operations. My morals are very flexible, other than those hard lines. I smile, and I go.
Okay. So, do you go and join Viper and V by the pits?
Oh, hell yeah.
I was gonna say, as the meeting ends and the band dies down, you just hear from down there, Viper yells up, "Dorothy, I won 3 silver!"
Sweet!
Okay. So, I think we will end the session there today. I'm going to give you all 100 XP for your ongoing investigation as you inch closer towards finding out what exactly is going on. So I'm going to take us back to the talk screen. What XP are each of you at?
446.
You're going to level up next session, probably. All right. So, we're back at the talk screen. And the session's done. Take it away, Christine.
Oh, yes. Thanks everyone for joining us. Sorry, I don't have an outro and I'm stuck. Tonight we were joined by Hadrian.
I have been your Hadrian for the evening. You can find me on Twitter at Hadrian. And sometimes I post some art, sometimes I rant and rave about video games, and I recently just started watching Zeta Gundam, so look for updates on how the dumbass we do it.
And of course, we also have Sasha.
Hey, I've been Sasha. You can find me on Twitter at Sasha_Renell, and you can follow all my game dev stuff at tcabbage.
Wonderful. And Austin.
Hi, I'm Austin. I've been your GM. You can follow me and You Don't Meet an Inn at Not an Inn on Twitter. And if you're interested in my game design work, you can find that at austin-ramsey.itch.io/ Actually, that's it. That's where all my games are. Is there. I have 2 there. I've got Beam Saber and I've got Tomb of the Gods. So.
Great. And I'm Christine. I do a podcast called You Don't Meet an Inn, a podcast about smaller games played with a rotating cast. And sometimes I can be found at You Don't Meet an Inn on Twitter, but usually it's Austin, because unless anyone hasn't been told, I'm a little awkward and I don't know how to speak.
Well, fortunately, neither of those are prerequisites for being on Twitter, so you're good.
Yeah, that's fair. So I hope everyone has a great rest of their night and enjoys the weekend. Bye.
Bye.